This is a warning, this is a long video, go get some snacks because if not you're about to be famished. Hello guys, welcome to what is the first of maybe a future series, maybe it's a podcast, maybe it's just chatting shit with mates, but this here is Aaron, the owner of this beautiful car that I can't seem to shake off me. Haven't really planned it too much, I've got a bunch of questions that I've got written down in my notes, so I'll ask some of them, and it's pretty much just a bit of a conversation with a mate and get to dive in a little bit on Aaron as well as his car. So yeah, if you're new to the channel, if his audience has come over, make sure you subscribe, smash the like button and comment if you want to see a video like this done with another car. So let's get it started, I guess.
Let's do it.
Let me just get straight off the rip because I've got some juicy questions. So, for those that don't know you, who are you?
I'm Aaron.
Hi, Aaron.
I've been in and out of the car scene for a long time.
Yep.
A lot longer than you. Mm-hmm. I've come from more of a HSV background. I've owned a fair few HSVs over the years because I was always a V8 boy. And then I kind of fell out of love for them a little bit. And I've always loved the turbo cars. I've had a 180 that I used to get into a lot of trouble in when I was younger.
Yep.
So I was wasn't made to sell it. I was encouraged to get rid of it because my license kept disappearing.
Yeah. Yep.
So that went. Then a few years later, that's when I started getting into the HSVs and the V8s and everything, which were great. They make the great noises, but I've always been someone that loves a driver-focused car.
Yeah.
Something that's like I'm a big fan of the Zs, like the 350Zs and the 370Zs, because they're a driver's car. So Porsches are one of my cars that I love.
Yeah. Cars you have to drive.
Yeah, like you actually have to drive them. The cockpit's like a cockpit.
Yeah.
It's not like
which is definitely this.
Yeah, which is definitely this.
Definitely.
Yeah,
it's like a fighter pilot.
It's not like a big sedan. As much as I like them, like I can appreciate a nice Falcon or HSV or whatever. Yeah. It's not driver focused as much.
Yeah, even like some of the new supercars are a bit just point and shoot, whereas like you said, a Porsche, you have to drive it. Even like the GTR is it still has the clunks, it needs your input and you feel it.
Yeah, it makes all the groans and the noises and the whining,
It's a race car, we'll say.
Yeah, it's sick.
All right, cool. So, well, tell us a little about this. What do we got here?
So it's a 96 Series 2 Mark IV Supra, JZA80 Mark IV Supra. It started life, well, I suppose it's still continuing life, as an SZ, so the non-turbo version. So it was a non-turbo manual.
Yep.
And I bought it and it was a heap. Absolute heap.
That's not an import.
Yeah.
It is an import.
All imports.
Okay.
So the only ones, America had, what do they call it in America? They call it USDM, I think they call it. Yeah. So America had the left-hand drive versions.
Yep.
They're the ones that are crazy value over there.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
All the others are JDM, which is the right-hand drives.
Yeah, right. So what was there, a real small number of US?
Honestly, I couldn't tell you. I couldn't tell you which there was more of, but I know that the right-hand drive versions in America are cheaper.
Because there's so many like from Japan or whatever.
Because they're from Japan and they don't have the bald eagle attached to them, I guess.
Yeah.
And most of the American ones are Aerotop.
Oh, okay.
Where these are, like most of them are hardtop.
From Fast and Furious, baby.
Yeah, that's an Aerotop, yeah.
Okay,
so.
Yeah. Okay, sweet. Well,
but yeah, that's what started life out as a non-turbo hunk of crap.
Well, you've definitely turned it into a lot more than that, so.
It's just a more expensive hunk of crap.
Yeah. Well, we'll get into the more juicy details, which I guess goes into this next question. Out of all the cars, obviously you said you had a 180. Why the Supra over, obviously, the cars that are in this era? You have the RX-7, obviously the Skylines. Like, what was it that drew you to the Supra?
So, I love rounded bodies and curves on a car.
Yep.
I ultimately love the FD RX-7.
Yep.
Regardless of how reliable or unreliable the motors are.
You can't knock them there.
No, they're amazing. Like, I love the rotary noises and that. But I went to Motorband Imports
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
And I thought, I'm going to go in there and have this. Because I was thinking about getting out of the HSV V8 game for a while, so I'm like, okay, I'm going to go there and have a look. Saw a white FD, and I was like, oh, God, that's a nice car, you know. It had 55,000 Ks on it. 100,000 of those Ks were probably wound back, but
probably.
It was all original. I sat in it, and I was severely disappointed because it was no room. Like, I was like this. I was annoyed. So
yeah, same thing. RX-7, like FD specifically, has been like a dream, but I just wouldn't fit in it.
Yeah, we're too tall. It's not about this, it's about that, the width, the length.
Both in my case, really. If you want cool, you have to have bucket seats and stuff, and I just don't fit. Like,
that's partly the reason I don't have buckets in this, because my hips won't fit in it.
They're just not made for the bigger people, but it sucks because it is such a cool car. But
yeah,
I mean, hey, I don't think you went wrong with this, really.
Well, this was my second choice in regards to the JDM stuff. So I looked at the FD. That was choice number one. You just can't fit. I just can't fit in them, and it's just too uncomfortable. And then I looked at an R34 GDR Bayside Blue, 55,000 Ks, 50 grand.
Wow.
And I hated the inside of it. Hated it.
Hot scoop, hot take.
The outside, love the outside. The inside is so underwhelming. I looked at it and I'm just like, this is crap. I didn't like
wow.
it.
55 grand.
55 grand.
That's crazy. So what was this? What did this set you back?
So I bought this car literally 2 weeks before the pandemic.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
So I had a 15th anniversary R8 Clubby.
Yep.
I sold that for more than what they were going for. Everybody was laughing at the fact that I had it advertised so high, but it sold for what I wanted.
Perfect.
Right? And I thought, sweet, time to buy, because the Supra was the car I was going for.
You picked it, yep.
Found this through a friend at the time.
So was this driving when you bought it?
Yeah, sorta.
Sorta, yeah. So I wasn't out daily driver type.
It was not registered.
Yeah.
It idled way too high. The ECU was shot.
Yeah. So
it had no exhaust on it. The interior was in the car, but it wasn't
together.
It was thrown at the car.
So it was a bit of a barn find almost.
Yeah, it was bad.
Title of this video: barn find that is Scary Supra.
Yeah,
lovely.
That's so cool. It started its life with me as just
nothing,
crap,
bare bones.
Yep.
Oh, that's almost like a success story in itself. Like, obviously, I've never built a car. I've obviously like had a cool Falcon, but I never built it. Same with this thing; they come cool, but you can know what it started as, and now you know what it's at now. Like that's,
yeah.
I think that's sort of the dream, really. Like that's what building a car is about. I couldn't do it. I'd give up real quick. But
oh, mate, there were plenty of nights I've had mates like Ian, who's over there.
Hello, Ian.
Not only did he help tell me what I was doing wrong, but I consumed some beverages along the way.
You need to. You definitely need to when working on a project like this, I guess.
I mean, it's good doing it.
Yeah.
But it's also it's like anything. You have your ups and your downs. Like on your downs, you're just like, man, am I ever going to finish this car?
Is it worth it? You know.
Yeah, like the amount of money I've poured into it. Then you're like, I've come this far. Come on, let's go. We've got to finish it off. Yeah. It's still not finished, but it's to the point where now I can start enjoying it.
Yeah. And you have been, like, you've been getting it out a lot, which is cool.
Yeah.
So when Aaron and I met, this wasn't done at all.
No.
I didn't even see it. I'd met Aaron and I still hadn't seen the car because it was still, well, not done in the garage.
This wasn't even running when we met.
No, I don't think so.
It was before, it was way back.
Yeah, so we met, was it before COVID?
It must have been about that time because I literally picked this up 2 weeks before.
So we were in some little car group, if you want to call it that was sort of short-lived, thankfully. But yeah, I met, funnily enough, small world, Aaron actually poured the concrete at Mum's house.
Yeah.
And then I had a little shindig at my place and you came and were like, I poured this driveway.
Yeah, I remember this place, yeah.
And yeah, Ian brought him along and we did a bit of a car thing and that was the first time I'd met you, and then it was a while afterwards, wasn't it? Like we'd always chat online, but I didn't actually do anything with the with our cars until I got the GTR. The whole time I had my Falcon, I'd never saw your car.
Yeah, I know. Probably because. Well,
I didn't
you're
show you up, you know.
Yeah, that's it. I was scared of it. But I probably it's hard because you work away a lot.
Yeah, it made it hard, and you work flat out. So
Yeah.
it took me finally getting a car I thought was worthy of being next to this thing.
Oh, come on.
Well, pretty much as soon as I got it, boom! All of a sudden they haven't been separated for more than a week. But
It's only the times you're not here.
yeah, literally. Well, I think every time I've been back since I've had it, they've been together at some point. Which even now it's getting wrapped right there.
Yeah.
Which
I've seen.
Which I don't know. I think this video will come out after the reveal. So if you haven't already seen the GTR reveal of the new look, definitely go check that out. But yeah, even now when it's in a workshop getting worked on,
Oh, it looks so good.
here the Supra is. So on that note, I've got to give a huge shout out to CMP Wraps Cobey for letting us use this space as my new podcast studio. He should be packing his stuff and moving out now because I'm claiming it. But yeah. Yeah, no, seriously, shout out to CMP Wraps for letting us come here and do this. You saw the 34, you didn't like it, you picked this. You got it at the start of COVID.
I saw the 34. Yeah, I didn't like it at all.
Yep. I thought we answered the question.
No, I NSX.
Oh, wow, okay. Didn't like the NSX?
No.
This is definitely a few hot takes coming
I like the way they look. They look amazing.
Yep.
But it didn't have the driver focus, which is what I was chasing.
So did you go and test drive all these cars?
I drove the 34.
That's a bit of a flex to...
It was a test drive.
Yeah.
Wasn't game enough to drive the FD because I thought I'd probably get cramps in my knees.
Yeah.
And sore ears from them rubbing.
Yeah.
I didn't drive the NSX, but the NSX just...
Straight off the rip, wasn't for you?
Yeah, I was like, no. As cool as they are, no.
Do you remember how much that was?
NSX?
Yeah.
I think it was about 70.
Wow. What are they now?
I don't know. They're pretty dear. I know they're 200, aren't they? Something around that mark.
100 up.
Yeah, they'd definitely be
100 up.
Definitely be over 100. That'd have to be.
I thought they were like in the twos because I know the 34 GTR. This is what I kick myself every time, bro.
Yeah.
The 34 GTRs are what, going for $250,000?
For the right one, yeah.
Some of them are going for what did Andrew from Motive DVD? He not long ago, he went and looked at a Midnight Purple 3 V-Spec for a friend of his, $500,000 in Australia, not in America.
Well, that's like he who we do not speak of sold one.
Oh yeah.
He sold one for I think 550. That was
what?
Yeah, that was that Millennium Jade one.
See, that's making me mad because I could have picked one up for 55 grand.
That's the it was like the M Spec Nur or whatever.
That's the good one.
Fancy
I think.
top of the range. I think I don't know nothing about them to be honest, but
damn.
Yeah.
If only hindsight you could live.
Yeah, well, I would have got Mum to sell a house and buy Bitcoin if we had known, but you know, you can never tell these things.
Yeah.
So I guess also ties in again. Why have you chosen? Which I know the answer, but for the people watching, you know, a lot of people with the Supra, 1,000 horsepower plus, you know, like they're all about the huge horsepower number, like massive meaty tyres, or you get the Drift Boy Supras or the Stance. So what made you? Because I think you've gone the perfect direction where it's not slammed on its guts. It's not the 1,000 horsepower 2J that everyone raves on about. It's just over 600 conservatively.
Yeah, it's turned down to 6 at the end.
So why have you gone down the route of a conservative drivable car, like rather than going for the moon in power or stancing, or why this direction?
So I want to be able to use it.
Yep.
Like it's all good to have a car that looks really cool. I mean, I'm not saying this car doesn't look cool. I mean, there's cars out there that are stance and I look at them and go, oh, fuck, I'd love to be able to do that. But I want to be able to get in it and drive it, and I don't want to have to drive it at 10 tenths.
Yeah.
I can get in it. I can cruise along. It makes all the right noises at cruising speeds, as you've probably heard today. It makes plenty of power and holds the power to the road, which 600. I've said this. I think I've said it to you. I don't know if I said it to you, but the perfect street car sort of number, if you want to call it that, I reckon would be around the 450 to 500 mark because it's very usable.
Yeah.
You're not exceeding the speed limit by a stupid amount.
Crazy. Yeah.
and you're not sideways everywhere you go.
No, I agree. I think 600 is like at the limit. Obviously, this is at 600, but it's gripped up. My Falcon was 600, and there was zero grip in that.
Yeah.
And that was like, there was no need for that on the street. It was purely just a party toy, really. Like just downshift and straight away on gate, no traction. But you don't need that for the street. Like it's asking for trouble. Anything over 500, I think you're asking to misbehave. Because even for you at 600 horsepower to show off 600 horsepower, you're hooking. Like,
oh, it's moving, yeah.
Like you're not going slow unless you were to bake the tyres and not have those like gripped up. Then you're doing skids everywhere. So I think anything over 500, really, you're just doing it just for more fun than practicality. But I think 600 is like the limit. More than that is like, if your car needs it, because I think you're doing a few things soon and the power's going to go up, but that's because your car will.
It needs a few things, yeah.
So.
It can be turned down a little bit, but it will run probably a little bit worse.
Yeah. So, I mean, if you're doing it anyway, like you may as well get what the motor wants to give you.
Yeah, and it's got to be. For me personally, it's got to be usable. I mean, I know there's people out there that they want to build the 800,000-900,000 horsepower cars because that's what they want to throw their $200,000 at or whatever that's going to cost them. But I wouldn't use that sort of power on the street. I'm not about going to the track and my car's quicker than yours. Like I don't
this many second quarter mile.
Yeah, like I don't care for that.
Yeah, I had a lot of comments with my Falcon as well. Like, what does it do down the quarter? I was like, I didn't care. I didn't build it to go down the quarter mile. I didn't build it to go faster around a track. It was just I wanted to have fun. Yeah, make some cool noises. Yeah,
smiles per gallon.
Yeah, and that's exactly where I'm at with the GTR. Like. It's a bit harder because everything on it is so expensive, like GTR tax, JDM tax, supercar tax. It's all sort of.
You had to throw that in.
Well, it is. It sucks that it really is. Like an under tray being almost 15 grand. Like
that's insane.
That's ridiculous, right? You don't see it. There's no benefit to it that there's aero through it, but still, like it's not. It's just dumb.
It catches bolts that you drop.
Yeah, literally. Yeah, it does. But. It's like that now, like people ask, what's your plans? One, it's so expensive to keep progressing it. And what I'd like to get it to around the 500-600 horsepower, like we were just saying. But like these cars, you could put 200 grand in so easy. And for what? It's still, if anything, it's just going to be so much harder to drive. I never want to make this a roll racing car. I never want to make it a drag car. Just things get so expensive. I just love it as it is, Like now, I think it's claimed 470 horsepower. I think they're claimed at
standard.
Yeah,
I don't know, but I know that's not standard.
Yeah. See, and for those that don't know, this has definitely been loved in Japan. Like I think it's got a tune on it. I don't know. It's still got stock intakes. It's got a mid pipe in the exhaust, but I think it would definitely have to be at the 500 horsepower.
Yeah, I reckon
because once upon a time these went together, and I definitely got beaten. But it was surprising.
On the enclosed track,
yeah, when we did go to the track that time in Mexico. But it's anything more than that, it's just expensive and you don't get to use it. Whereas that, you get to drive it. I can go to the shops, I can go have fun, do whatever, and it's at that perfect power mark, which I think yours is the same.
Yeah, so this is another problem too. Well, it depends how deep your pockets are.
Yeah.
You make, say, 1,000 horsepower. The cost of maintenance on 1,000 horsepower, man. Yeah. Like you're working to maintain.
Yeah, to keep going.
Like
I'm struggling as it is. Like I'm not claiming that I got a lot of money or whatever. If you don't know, the GTR is just so stupid expensive. If you can afford to buy a GTR, get ready to spend the same amount if you want to make it cool. Like you can get a GTR now. Realistically, if you import one yourself, you can get one for probably 70 grand.
Yeah, I don't know how great it would be.
I've seen some in the 60s, high 60s. Like,
that's cheap.
You would definitely sacrifice on certain things like a grade or whatever. But mine was just under 90. They've come down because so many people are importing them now. Like everyone is bringing in a GTR. But gearbox on the older models, which mine is
phenomenal,
like 20k. Don't be shocked if you have to drop 20k. Just randomly, they just go. There's solenoids in them that fail, and so boom, that's 20 grand. Like I said, under trays 15. Headlights, if you want the newer model headlights, 5 grand. Like
what?
It's just ridiculous. Like every little thing that you can think of. My screen died. That if I want an OEM replacement,
Yeah, I can't believe the cost of that.
$3.5 grand
Yeah.
with exchanging your old one and sending it to Sydney, and 20 grand is with giving your old box back as well.
Oh, that's exchanging the
your
box,
old box
and you're
as
still
well.
got to pay 20.
And it's still about 20 grand. You can get one that's like 15, 16, I think, but then that's just replacing it at the stock level, which means you may as well just.
Wouldn't you want to build it?
Yeah, exactly right.
Yeah.
So it's so expensive. So yeah, you can go and get this, but then if you want to start pushing power, anything over 600 horsepower, your box is at the limit, and then it just spirals. And it's the same with this. Obviously, you go put 1,000 horsepower, make it wicked. The maintenance, if something goes wrong, it's not just a stock part you got to replace.
Yeah.
It's huge. Everything just snowballs. It's like a graph.
It is.
The power goes up,
and the money
price
goes down.
up. It's just your savings. Savings goes here, the power goes up.
Power savings. Yeah.
So yeah, it's nuts. I think what you've done is how I think anyone that wants a street car, I think this is the recipe.
Well, that's the purpose of this car for the street.
So it's got grip. I would say it's reliable. It's been built well. Obviously,
Touch wood.
yeah. Obviously, you've spent a lot of money getting the right parts.
Yeah, I've tried to do everything I could. The only thing I haven't done is the internals on the bottom end.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm sure you could have cut a lot of costs by cheaper parts and
Yeah.
But
You got to have
you
got to have some anodized purple in there,
Yeah, well, exactly right, and special carbon and all this sort of stuff. But yeah, I'm sure you could have spent a lot less on this car, but I think the way you've done it, using all good parts and everything, is definitely going to pay off in the long run, because I mean, this is what you have to show for it.
And it's not to everybody's taste. There's people out there that own them that might not like the way I've done it.
Yeah, for sure.
But it's my interpretation of a perfect looking Supra,
Even with TE reps.
TE reps that cost what, $2 grand more or something more?
Yeah. So what are these wheels? So they're not obviously genuine TEs.
No, they're not. They're so I wanted a set of TE 37s.
Yeah.
I was going to buy a set. Can't get the offsets that I want.
Yeah.
These guards are rolled and pulled a bit.
Yep.
So that I can fit more aggressive
Media tyres and stuff.
media tyres and
Bigger
more aggressive
yeah.
offset if
Yeah.
that's the direction I want to choose. So I spoke to my mate Z at Stylish, who I've been buying wheels off him for 10 years, and he owns Invisio, the company that he started, Invisio. And I said, I want a set of TE wheels, billet TE wheels. And he goes, can do. He already done a set for his GTR.
The 34?
Yep, in 19s. And I said, it's got to be an 18. Because he will make them in a 19, I think they're a 19, 10 plus 15 or something.
Yeah.
But that's the only size that they come in.
Okay.
And I said, no, they've got to be a custom. This is the
Custom
specs I want. This is blah, 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 blah. And he goes, I got you.
So
And
one of one.
the only set in an 18. And the only set that's also staggered.
That's cool.
So they're an 18, 9.5, 18, 10.5.
Obviously, they're a wicked looking wheel. They're a TE.
And they're light.
But I think they suit, there's so many recipes that are already done, like the TEs and Blitz. They all look sick.
But because they look so good, everybody does it. Yeah.
They're just so expensive. And then, obviously, they weren't cheaper, but it's cool to say that you have almost TEs, but they're not. They're a one of one. And sort of like a lot of things on this car, like the Pearl.
That's what I do. I try to go, because there's only so much you can do.
Yeah.
The car's what? We were talking today, 28 years old. So in 28 years, there's a lot of people that have literally done everything.
Done everything you can do.
Yeah. So there's not really much you can go outside the box in a car that everybody's done or had their hands on or whatever. So I go for the little things.
Swap.
Yeah, but I don't want to castrate a bull, And I don't want to devalue it.
No, look, I was kidding. You'd never do that. Okay, this is a good one. So obviously a lot of people that may be watching would obviously know of Scary Supra. How did the name come about? Why Scary Supra?
It's actually quite funny. I was sitting in my mate's, he had a vape shop when vaping started and he was across the road from my house. And I was in there, my partner was in there. I can't remember, maybe you were in there, Ian, I can't remember. And I was going through PPQ. I'm a big number plate guy.
Yeah. So am I love it.
Yeah, I love number plates. I love thinking of cool things, whatever. But for my personal car, it's got to be all letters, like no numbers in it.
No, like 4 for an A or...
Yeah, and I was sitting there and I was picturing what the car would look like finished in a car park at a car meet. What plates are going to give it that bit of oomph, you know? And then I thought, I wonder if something scary is available. And then I put in I'm scary and it was available. I'm like, no way. Buy. Straight away. Just bought.
Yeah, wow. And that's how it came to be.
That's how it came to be. And then the Instagram side of things, I had Instagram before I had TikTok for this thing. And then a lot of people will use their number plates as their Instagram handle. I'm like, no, I'll kind of go a little bit different. And then I just put Scary Supra. And I thought it was a bit tacky to start with. Yeah. And then obviously it's stuck.
It's stuck, yeah. And has worked. Let's just put a screenshot here of the followers. This man is, what? The second most followed car in Australia?
No, there's a few that are above
on TikTok.
Oh, on TikTok? Oh, look, I don't know. I'll probably, it'd be pretty high up there.
Even, yeah, I mean, if you were to put all your followers together, like your following, TikTok's 1.4 million followers.
Yeah.
Instagram 140 or something?
160 something.
160. So I don't think I think there's one person that's competing, and not many people like.
Well, I wouldn't really say he's competing. He's his own entity. But I would say there's a yellow S15. I can't remember his name.
Nathan.
It's an amazing car.
The New South Wales.
He's got a couple 100K.
Yeah. That's
Instagram is 166,000.
There you go.
166 on Insta. So I'd definitely say, I think if you were to account all your following, like, I think you'd probably be number 2. But number 1, I don't count them as a real. Yeah. Anyway, we'll move on. We'll move on. But
no comment.
Yeah. That's a thick claim that is.
And they're very thick.
Okay. Here's a good one, because I was talking to you when I'm possibly doing an interview with someone else. What is something they don't tell you, or that someone that, if I was looking at a Supra to buy, what's something they don't tell you about owning one? What's, obviously GTR, like I was just telling you, there's such big cost behind it. Is it the same with, obviously it would have to be the same, but what's something that they don't tell you?
There is a Supra tax as well.
Yeah.
If you're buying one that needs some love, be prepared to drop some money. The thing attracts so much attention from people.
Understandable.
Good, bad, doesn't matter what it is. You get, like, surprisingly, for the amount of attention that it attracts, the amount of people that love it, you actually get cut off in traffic.
Yeah, wow.
It happened to me, my partner and I, she drove her car, I drove mine up to Bribie Island. It might have been last weekend or the weekend before.
So. Yep.
And we're two-lane road, which merged at the end, and this four-wheel drive come flying up beside her. I was in front of her, past me, and like we're on the inside lane, he's on the outside lane. He cut me off, and he's like out the window going, "Give it some like this," and I'm just like I have my stepson in the car, and I'm thinking, bro, like, it attracts attention, whether it be good attention, idiots, it doesn't matter what it is, like everybody.
Especially like, I've got nothing against like kids trying to get into the car scene or whatever, but like the whole car spotting scene, I think, has definitely blown up the younger
generation. I
can't go anywhere without like do a skid, or you know, these ones, or it's like, if you actually knew
what happened to us on the way here.
Literally on the way here, like. And sometimes it gets annoying because one, it's like, well, if you knew anything about the car, I can't just do a skid. It's an all-wheel drive. It's like, sometimes, I don't know. That's why I don't think, there's a lot of people, I think, that are coming up now in the social media that promote a lot of like skids and stuff, which I don't really agree with. I don't mind, cheeky power skid or whatever, but, like just doing loops and stuff, I think it's starting a generation of that. Like, you see, we went to a meet a few months ago or something that shut down a whole car park. Cops everywhere.
That was
obviously
nuts.
Troy Candy was like a part of the host, so he attracts a crowd, which I got nothing against him, whatever. But it's definitely like, it seems like that is really growing, that sort of...
Yeah, that niche. It's definitely its own culture.
Yeah, and I don't know if it's... Hey, I think it's good for the car community to get people into cars, but I think it can also put a bad light on...
Yeah, it casts a shadow.
Yeah, like, you know...
And not a good one.
And the thing is, with the car community, if you're in it, you know, we've got the JDM, there's the Aussies, there's Drift, blah, 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 there's all different branches, but from Tracy Grimshaw's point of view, or an outside point of view...
We're all the same.
We're all the same,
yeah.
you know, like, we can just be on a cruise, other people go past, like, revving, and we're all put in the same basket, you know, which...
Yeah.
So yeah, I get exactly what you mean. Like, there's awesome attention where people step back and appreciate the car, and then there's people that are just scared, rev it.
Yeah.
Especially, you know, a Supra. Like, what are they known for? Anti-lag, two-step. You know,
Yeah.
like everyone wants to do it. Like, I can imagine it would get. Hey?
Big horsepower.
Yeah.
I expect some of that
Yeah.
big horsepower.
I can't. Yeah, I imagine it would get quite annoying, and as well as that, how often do you get asked, is that a Supra? Is that a Supra?
Oh, yeah, yelled out all the time.
Oh, that would drive me nuts.
Yeah, all the time.
That would drive me nuts.
And I just say, nah, it's the Skyline. You know.
No, it's a Celica.
Yeah, but yeah, that's probably one thing they don't tell you about. They say, yeah, the attention's good, but there's also bad attention that comes with it.
Yeah, which, and also, like, it can be a bit scary sometimes with the value of the car these days.
Oh, yeah.
And like, there's been so many people stealing cars and joyrides and whatever. Like, it makes it a bit scary sometimes. Like, you can't just enjoy it. You can't just park it outside your house and...
Oh, no, I don't.
chill.
I never do.
Like, it almost becomes like sometimes a bit of a hassle, like, because they are such a sought after car, and like, even it's not even that someone would steal it now to, you know, sell it, scrap it or whatever to, you know, so they can make money. They just want to joyride it and like it. Yeah.
Yeah, and then take a video of it and post it on social media.
Yeah.
Hopefully it goes viral.
Yeah, it becomes quite hard when you have a nice car, I think. So
Yeah, you got to be careful.
yeah. So I think I know this, but what is your dream car? Like, is it this? What? Oh,
I've got a couple.
Yeah.
Right. So, always been a dream of mine to own a Soup.
Yep.
Mad Porsche guy. Love Porsche. 911. The new GT3. Anything GT3. I love them.
Can't blame you.
I can't not. Old 964. The old Bad Boys Porsche.
Yep.
In black. On bags. Oh, stop it. Anyway. If I had like your kind of money, I'd probably buy a Koenigsegg Jesko.
If you had my kind of money, you probably wouldn't own this. You'd be in a Corolla or heavily in debt.
I love the Koenigsegg. I don't know what it is.
I like that they're different. They're not.
Yeah.
A lot of the supercars, like, they sort of run off the same. They're obviously all different, but I think they're sort of constantly competing with themselves. Like, obviously the Ferrari, Lamborghini, McLaren. I think they sort of all go in that.
They're like a subcategory.
Yeah, well, I guess they're supercar and hypercar.
Yeah.
But
Where
I
the
feel
Koenigsegg's
like
mega.
Koenigsegg's just gone like, okay, you have all this, we're going to go and do this. And like,
I love that.
it's so cool.
Yeah.
Like, and obviously you like having one of one, and then they've just branched out and done, I think, completely their own thing. And yeah, I think they're unreal. It's Koenigsegg that have the one-to-one, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah, that is, what a concept. Like, that is so sick.
There's just something about everything about them, even to the shape of the front windscreen.
Yeah.
I see that and I'm like, oh, that's just too cool.
So good. I've seen, like, what's the one that's got like the ghost mode? You hold it, the bonnet, the boot, all the doors.
The Regera?
Yeah, all open
electric
up together.
Yeah, the Regera.
Bro, that is so sick.
It's like got that sort of symbol on the wheels.
Yeah.
The biohazard symbol wheels.
Yeah, so cool.
Yeah. Oh, and a 67 fastback Mustang. Like a Shelby, like GT500 style.
Yeah.
But I'd rest the mod it, make it more modern.
Tesla motor.
No.
Someone
You're not supposed to swear on video, are you?
Hate crime. Yeah, well, I mean, all good choices. I think most car people, I think you can't go past a Porsche. Like, they're proven, they're built. Every
just
aspect
beautiful
of it is
cars.
just like a piece of art. How the sound, the performance, the look, aero, everything is like Unreal. And I drove one this
I was
morning.
about to say, I'm yet to drive one. You drove one.
Yeah, I drove one, but who's keeping track?
Jealousy's a thing.
Okay, if you could go back and do it all over again, say before you bought this, now, what would you do different? Knowing what you know now, obviously, would
By
you,
living in hindsight,
yeah, like would you build it differently, or would you do this? Would you not pick a Supra? Like, obviously, you kick yourself about the GTR, but,
I was going to say I would
you
instantly
don't like the GTR as much as, say, if you had to go back, but you couldn't just sell it for money, like that had to be your car, right?
Okay.
Would you do this again? Would you try and make it work? Would you get the GTR but change the interior, like custom interior, so you fit better? Like,
So I would probably buy another Supra.
Yep.
Yeah, because back then they were cheap.
Yeah.
And Porsches were dear, because I'd say I'd buy a Porsche, but nowadays I could probably get close to buying a Porsche, depending on the model, if I was to sell this.
Yeah.
But
Which is crazy to think.
I know, like a crappy old Toyota, because nearly it's Porsche
wild.
money. But yeah, I'd say I would probably do it. But I would buy a RZ
Yeah.
Aero top,
Okay.
and then
And orange, get a livery down the side.
no, I wouldn't do that, because the car, the wind, the way the car's shaped, if you're driving down the motorway, you don't get much wind inside the car.
Yeah.
The fact that now it's got Ganadors, it brings that wind a little bit closer, because it shoots through the mirrors, and it kind of angles it a little bit, and you can just stick your hand there and it shoots the wind straight in your face.
Yeah.
Because I deleted the aircon.
Yeah.
So on hot days, like, you're cooking in there, man. Like, it's getting hot.
Race car things. I could not have a car without aircon. When my screen died in that, and
no
thankfully
aircon.
the aircon worked. I just couldn't select it. But the other day, even my new screen stuffed up and I had no aircon. I wanted to sell the car. I hated it. I was like ready to leave it on the side of the road and Uber home. Like, I hate it.
But how did you feel coming here? There was no aircon?
Yeah, but one, it's cooler now. It was morning. It was 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
So it wasn't bad, but like, put me in this thing, drive through city, no wind at all.
Oh, mate.
I'll get on a bus.
I got stuck. It was a 42 or 43 degree day.
Oh, yuck.
On our way through city traffic. And that's when I figured out the fans on this weren't powering it enough, and I was cooking and so was the engine. It was like 99 degrees. I was like, ooh.
I would have walked. That
was bad.
I don't do it. That's where we differ, and this may be controversial. If I could go back, I don't know if I'd get another GTR, which is a bit different. So that has always been like, I remember as a kid, like being in the car, I'd always like, Skyline, and like, you know, the 33, mainly the 34s. And then the 35 came about, and it was just always the car. Like, I loved it. I went to a formal in one, in a white one, which I've said this when I got the car. Just always, it was the pinnacle. Even still now, like, I'm so glad that I have owned it. I don't dislike the car at all. I love it.
Oh, I love it, and
Like,
I'm jealous at it.
Everything that I thought the car would be, it is. It's so fast. It handles so well. You honestly do feel like you are in a supercar. It's just, I love it. But would I, if I had 90 grand now, it's sort of hard, because if I went back and had to do it all over again, I wouldn't have owned one, right? So I would get one. But if I could poof and still have the experience of owning one, I think I would get something different. Like,
Didn't I ask you this question not long ago and you were rattled?
yeah, because it's so hard. It's hard to have such a big achievement by getting your dream car, especially one that's not cheap. Like, you know, I'm not saying this is obviously cheap, but like,
Well, it was when I bought it.
yeah, you've been able to have time where that's just boom, nearly $100,000.
Yeah,
up front.
straight off the bat. Yeah.
That's not getting to make it cooler. That's all right. Here's 100 grand. Now start.
Yeah, this is what. Oh, that's the question. I said, would you spend 100 grand on buying the car, or would you
Something else and build it.
Yeah, buy one for, like, sort of simulation to me. Like, I've put in more money than what you've paid for that.
But you've built it to your
Yeah,
spec.
I built it to how I wanted it. Like,
Yeah.
would you go that route, or would you buy a car? Unless forget Porsche, because we all know we'd go and buy 100 grand Porsche. But
If I had to stick with the same budget, and this is where it's also like, I'm sort of a bit of a spoiled brat, really. Like, Like,
I'm glad that that's on camera.
Well, I am. Like, I like new. Like, I'd love an RX-7. And even I've really been like torn. Like, do I sell this and go get a 32 GTR? I couldn't afford a 34, and the 33 is just not for me.
Do you want me to tell you something about 32 GTRs?
Yeah. How much were they when?
My father stopped going guarantor for me for one when I was 19. Was white. It had 18,000 kilometres on it.
Oh.
16 grand. He said, no, I won't, and ended up getting a 10 grand loan by a VS Commodore executive.
Oh, that hurts. That hurts.
Yeah.
Well, that's where I've been. I've been like, do I get one?
You won't fit in one though, like lengthways, it's like an FD.
I've been in a mate's and he had bucket seats. It was super tight. But I love the car, but then I know after the 32 GTR wears off, I'm going to be like, oh, this is old. The dash has got all bubbles. Like, I don't think I could go to an old car. Again, I'd love an RX-7. I'd love one of these. I like that it is like a fighter jet, you know, like the cockpit is around you.
Yeah, it's like, who cares about the passenger? It's all you.
If I was to, see, it's hard because if I was to answer your question, I think I would go and buy an expensive car again.
Yeah.
But I think it would be, well, we've spoke about it, like the new Supra.
The A90, which is one of my goals.
I hated it when it came out. I was like, it's literally just an ugly BMW.
I love them.
Like, they've tarnished the Supra name, but I've just grown to love it. And Gemma would love this, an M3 or an M4. Like, I just like that, especially in this day and age where obviously like technology sort of is everything. I just like the CarPlay, like just the comfort. It's got everything, you know, like it's so cool. But in the same time, I still would love to, if you just wanted to give me some money, I would love to have a car like this and go buy like a Century or something. Like,
yeah, they're cool.
Old V12, you don't even need to do much to make it cool.
No, just like slave them out, mob slave.
Yeah, like Mike's, like Divine.
Yeah, yeah.
That is just so cool. Like, bagged, just, I'd have to hire a driver.
Like real cruiser type car.
I'd have to hire someone else to drive me because I'd want to be in the back with my legs through the seat. Like, that's so cool. Like, I'd love something like that that's just cruiser and a fast car. I think I would stick with modern. I just don't know. I don't think it'd be a GTR again.
See, I'm kind of the other way. As far as the only modern cars I like are the Porsches. Like, I like all those. I do like the A90.
Yeah.
One day I'll get one and I'll have both.
It'll happen. Yeah.
But I like the older stuff.
And that's fair. It's at the same time, I'd love a Chaser. I love Chasers. I'd love a Chaser, the 1J, like Josh's, that tough 1J.
Oh, there's nothing beats the sound of a 1J.
That's just so good. Like that. I could have done it if I sold the Falcon. That was going to be what's next. I just couldn't justify. Again, same thing. I was going to spend more money for a less modified car that was essentially the same. You know what I mean? Like a turbo taxi, realistically.
Yeah, but they're so taxi. Cool.
But yeah, as much as I'm kicking myself for not doing it, like if I had to pick a Chaser or a GTR, like I think I made the right call.
I probably agree with you there because I love these too.
Yeah, it's just a Chaser is definitely like a bucket list. 40 grand for a stock one is just ridiculous to me. Like,
yeah, they're dear.
That's crazy. 40 grand.
Oh, for 100. JZX 100.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, I like the JZX 90s.
Yeah. Is that what Grant has? No, his is a Mark II over in Japan at Ebisu. You know that white one? I think it's a. Yeah, it might be. It might be a Mark II.
Yeah, it might be. But no, I'm pretty.
Longer lights.
Yeah, that's a Mark II, but the one in his shed at home.
That's a 90.
That's a 90.
Yeah.
With the pink wheels. Yeah. That's a 90.
I like them all, to be honest.
Yeah.
But I think 100 is my favourite. I don't know why. I just really like it. I like
Caleb's car.
I like the rectangle sort of headlights. I just think they're cool. But all of them are sick. But yeah, I would love one of them. But 40 grand for a stock one of them, and then to make a 1J, like, you know, you want
really
600 horsepower, 600 horsepower. You want to sound good. You want external gate, and then
that's like 30 grand.
Yeah. Now you're at 70 grand. For, you know, like I don't know. Well, at 70 grand, you can go buy an M3. So at 70, 80 grand, you know, that's where it's like, well, I would pick, if I had like, okay, build this, you're going to make it, I'd get an M3 over that. Like,
would you get an M3 over an A90? Because it's still a BMW.
Is it just stock for stock?
Yeah.
if I wasn't going to put an M3, I don't think I'd really do anything to it. I'd probably do exhaust, tune, maybe like lower it.
Yeah.
Whereas A90, I'd love to like bags, wheels, the Street Hunter wing. I think I'd want to do more to the new Supra. The M3, I'd sort of just drive it.
Yeah.
Which is why, and I've had this conversation with Gemma, the reason that I didn't is because as cool as the M3 is and as much as I like it, just go drive through the city or like Sunnybank, you'll see 100 of them. You know? They're everywhere. That's like, ultimately, like a GTR, you see a GTR and it's like, shit, a GTR, wow. An M3, as much as it's sick, it's like, M3. Another BMW, you know, like.
Well, a lot of people can't differentiate the M3 to just a normal 3 Series or whatever.
Yeah, and so I'm not educated enough to know what, you know, and there's what M Sport, then the actual
I wouldn't even know whatever sub-brands they've got going on.
And then there's the M3 and the M4, but I think the M4 is the 2-door.
Oh, actually, the M2. Is the M2?
Yeah, there's an M2 as well.
The M2 is pretty cool. That's the smaller version.
The newer one. It's sort of, that's a bit controversial, that one. Some people hate it, some people love it. But yeah, I don't know.
I reckon we just should all buy Porsches and sell everything.
Yeah, sell the house and get a GTR. A GT3.
I was going to say, how many of them do you want?
This is a bit of a self-plugging one.
Oh yeah, nothing's
What is your clothing brand? Obviously, you're wearing
clothing. Nefarious.
What is it? What is it? How did it come to be?
So, I've always wanted to get into apparel, shirts, all that kind of stuff. This is my train of thought behind it, right? If I'd go, my partner's always telling me, oh, you need to get some new shirts and whatever, because I'll wear the same stuff for 5 years. Like, I don't care. I'd rather pump money into this, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But if I go shopping, and I know in my head what I want. Like, I want a shirt with maybe something small on the front, a big design on, something cool on the back, whatever.
Yeah.
Can never ever find it, ever. And I walk out of there every time with nothing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I didn't buy anything. And then my partner's like, you didn't buy anything.
Yeah,
I'm like,
still got more shirts.
I know, because I couldn't find anything that I like. So I've always said I would love to be able to design my own shirts, and you know, I'd love to do that for a job, full-time job. Well, all this social media stuff started going off, and I was just like, well, I'm a male in the social media world. It's a lot harder to make money.
Yeah.
I'm not about making money through, I don't want handouts or anything like that. If I can create something with it, and do something else that I enjoy as well as this sort of stuff, I'll give it a go. Let's do it. So that's how it started, and I love designing shirts and stuff like that. And now that they're starting to come through, I don't wear them obviously through the week, but I can't wait for the weekend just to throw a shirt on, you know?
Yeah, no, and they actually, we always have online banter, and obviously I got Miles Automotive shirt, which, can I say, Aaron's original friend Ian is actually wearing Oz Automotive. But anyway,
and I got given one this morning.
Yeah, he does have one. But no, the shirt that you're wearing now, which I could probably put a photo of it, like the design is so cool. We got the same designer that did my Falcon shirt, the GTR shirt, and now this.
Yeah.
And it is proper cool. So if you did want one, where do they go to get one?
I think it's nefarious.company.site.
Yeah, I'll put it on the screen, or it'll be below anyway.
It's in my bio on my social medias as well.
Yeah, so I'll put a link down below, because you're just about to open the store up.
Like, next week.
Pre-order. So definitely get in if you like. Even if you don't like Supras, there's not just the Supra shirt, is there?
Well, at the moment there's only the one, but we're getting a staple tee done where it's just a little Nefarious on the front and the face on the back, and that's going to be a pretty basic shirt, which we're going to do in all colours. And
so that's non-car people can wear it.
It's not niche specific. It's for everyone.
Whereas the other one is, I'd say it's bold, like bright colours. Big Supra. Which that's my favourite. I've got one coming, so definitely go order yourself one. That answered my next question, which is why did you start it? So I guess 5 years time, what are you hoping for? Obviously, reach for the stars or whatever they say.
5 years, I would love a shop or something like this. Where my brand Nefarious is in full swing.
Booming.
I'm enjoying doing what I'm doing, being creative with apparel, doing some video stuff. Like I like doing some funny, stupid video stuff.
Yeah, growling into the
all that sort of stuff. Obviously involved with car stuff as well, where I'm working for myself, and I would like to have a couple of the boys working for me,
sweeping floors, or me.
like and like we're not working for me as such, but we're all working together. So we go to work.
It's fun.
It's not work. You know what I mean? Yeah. We're just
like you said, like, eliminate. Like
Oh, perfect. Yeah.
No, I think that's definitely. I sort of have this. I don't really know what Oz Automotive, what my goal is. Like I don't want to be. I don't think I want to do apparel. I sort of just want it to be like just a. Honestly, it's sort of like Randy, you know, like have a shop. The thing is, I don't work on my cars. Like I don't build a car, which I need to do because I want to learn more. And I think that'd be good for the channel as well.
Yeah.
You know, like everyone likes rebuilds. You know, like Matt Armstrong. That's the next phase, like buying a turd and rebuilding it. And so I think that's something I'd want to do. That's why I like the new place. So I'm moving houses. I want a shed where I can film content and hopefully, get a project car and I don't know, maybe steal this thing, blow it up, and so that I've bought a blown up thing,
Start back at square one.
Yeah, start back from the start. But Whistling Diesel style, just go take a bush bash. And
that'd be cool, actually. It'd be a good environment for that sort of stuff.
I think so, and it'd be like a spot where we could do this stuff, like I plan on having, if all goes well, like a 3-bay shed, 2-bay for the car, hoist, and then like one side that's sort of just a hangout, bar.
Well, you could have your own podcast room, whatever.
And the problem is then I have to have people come over to the house, and being a celebrity, I can't really have that.
No, you can't. It'll get out.
Yeah, exactly right. This is probably one of the more important questions. Is it true that Oz Automotive is beating you at multiple drift zones in Forza?
Oh, unfortunately, and I hate it.
He's not competitive at all.
No, not at all. But in my defence,
we'll just end that question there.
You're off work for what? How long? 2 weeks?
Doesn't really matter, does it?
And your partner's at work. What do you do?
No, it doesn't really matter.
This the whole time.
I think we did it on a weeknight.
Yeah, it was a weeknight. So
we'll see how many zones you beat me in the next 2 weeks when you're off work.
Your level's 4 times as high. It doesn't really matter though.
Oh yeah, it doesn't matter.
We'll just crop after the correct. Okay, here's a good one, which I think you sort of answered. What do you? I know we have a lot of banter. What's your thoughts on the GTR? Like, not as a whole, that GTR.
Your specific GTR?
That GTR, just there. How it looks.
As much as I want to say, talk trash about it, because that's what you and I are both good at.
Yeah.
I dig it. I really, really like it. I love the colours. I'm a purple person.
Yeah.
Like with your white.
Yeah. Yep. With my pearl, we'll say.
But I suppose it's not going to matter. This video's coming out after.
Yeah, it'll come out after. So yeah, the purple, the new look. It's different.
Oh, man.
I think it's out there.
I think like your car in particular, I love the fact you're going out there with it, because you don't see many GTRs that look like that. I mean, let's be real. The only thing I would change on that right now would be a set of Meisters.
Yeah, so I would love, and I think this new look sort of is screaming for it, because it is now a real aggressive styling.
I'd go a polished set of Meisters.
I think it needs wheels, and I think it needs to be lowered as well. But that's where it just gets a bit hard, because that under tray is awfully expensive. That front lip is awfully expensive.
Well, put it this way: if you drop bolts in the engine bay, the under tray won't catch it if you get rid of it. So,
yeah, well, look, it might start flying though without the aero. My last one that I added today was, what was your thoughts on the car community? But we sort of answered that with both the good and bad attention on this, and the sort of skid culture that's coming up.
Yeah.
Do you have anything to add? What do you think? I know it gets a bit of a bad rap sometimes.
It does, as far as people looking on the outside looking into the car community.
Well, what do you think, as obviously you're involved in the car community, like, what do you think?
It's definitely different to what it was like 10 years ago. So 10 years ago, you went to car meets and stuff like that. Now a lot of the car community stuff is online on the social medias and that kind of stuff. I don't agree with driving like an idiot on the street, burnouts and all that kind of stuff. I believe it should be in a controlled environment.
Time and place.
I think age has made me think that way. Because obviously you hear horror stories of people getting hit by cars and whatever.
Or just trashing their own car and...
Yeah, I'm in two minds about it. I'm not a fan of the hate towards other people. I mean, I don't care if people don't like sling at me. It doesn't bother me at all. I mean, a lot of the time I'll laugh at it. I'll be like, oh yeah, cool. Everyone's entitled to their own opinion. Don't force it upon others.
Yeah, that's, I think, the biggest thing. Like, you don't have to like my car, you don't have to like someone else's car, but that's your opinion. Like, our battery just died on the camera for those watching at home, so yeah, what Aaron was just saying, and I completely agree. There's so many people, especially, I think it's social media that's made it so much harder. Like, everyone's entitled to opinion, but social media makes it so much easier to scream. Like, you can just be a nobody with no name account and just be the biggest tough guy, and say, my car would smoke yours, the shit box, blah, blah, blah. It's like, well, where's your car, like, and that is one thing that I think, no, you keep going. That's one thing that I actually think is great. The letters GTR is so good in that aspect, because they can say whatever and you just, where's your GTR? And boom, there's no response unless I turn around and go in my garage, and then all of a sudden
and you go, I look like an idiot.
Well, I've got a 34. Oh no. But yeah, I think that's what kills it. Honestly, I think a lot of it is, there's so much on TikTok. I think it can be a real negative space there.
Yeah, TikTok's a hard one, eh?
Yeah, and TikTok's sort of trash on its own. Like, you can't even post anything car related anymore. Like,
the amount of times I get banned for things that...
Yeah, it's ridiculous. But people can post, like, anyhow, that's a whole other story. But yeah, I think it's become too easy now for people to just shit on people's cars, and then I don't know, I feel like a lot of the respect's sort of gone in the car scene. Like, a perfect example is that grail racing meet we're at.
Oh, amazing!
I think that was wicked. Like, everyone had their own spot. They went around, don't touch the cars, and I think that's really good. But because of the social media direction, anyone can throw a meet. There's no security, if you want to call it that. Like, I'm literally doing a meet at a random car park tomorrow. But you get the people that have that sort of bad crowd, I guess, where there is no respect. Like that meet we went to, people are standing, literally like trying to get photos of, Trey's car, videos of Trey's car, like literally pretty much standing on my front bar trying to get a video of him that was parked across.
There's
like,
just
there's no respect. It's like all that has sort of been thrown out the window, and that's why it sort of comes down to who you... No, it's fine. That's it comes down to the crowd, and this is where like it sort of gets annoying when you're all put in that same basket. It's because, like, no, if I'm throwing a meet, I want it to be anyone can come in any car and feel, like their car's safe. You don't want all these kids running in between your cars, like leaning up against it with their bloody buttons and shit. Like, it gets a bit hard. I think that's what can sort of deter it. Like, with cars like this, you may not want to take it out because of stuff like that,
Well, I don't ever take it to, for example, a car park, like where if, say, my partner and I are going down to the supermarket to pick something up, I'll never, because people, just anyone will, don't care, open the doors on it, whatever.
And I'll park that far away, empty car park, come back, there's someone next to it. Like, do they go, he's done that for a reason, I'm going to just...
Or they go, he's got a really nice car, bet you he's careful when he gets out, he's not going to hit my car.
It drives me crazy. But I think overall, I think the car scene is honestly what you make of it, It is, and respect in the car scene is not determined by how many people follow you. Which, that's why I don't like you. It's got nothing to do with your followers, I just don't like you,
We're in the same boat there.
Nah, but I think it just comes down to, like, if you wouldn't want other people standing on your car, don't... What is it? Treat others how you want
to be treated. I wouldn't go stand on your car, so why would you stand on mine?
So, but I don't know. I think at the end of the day, it's the car scene is how we met. So I think there's a lot more positive than there is negative, and like stuff like this, like getting to do cool stuff here. Obviously, the channel, your social media that's now turned into a brand. I think there's there's so much room for growth in it, which I think is really cool. But
it's funny how an interest sparked by these things, by cars, can bring people together.
yeah,
Like I would never have met you, I would never have met a lot of the people that I know, because I have quite a close circle of friends, as you probably know, and as Ian would know.
with me at the top, just to
You're my self-proclaimed best friend, as you keep saying.
yeah. No,
I got another one.
That's why you're wrapping his car.
yeah,
So I believe if you are into the car scene and you're into it for the right reasons, I believe you can actually make some really good friendships out of it.
yeah, for sure.
And they have to be really good friendships for me to keep people close.
Yeah.
I like that. That's good.
Yeah, I think it's good when, literally wouldn't have met you, heaps of my friends, and even like the people that, like, you know, your OG friends, like my good buddy Cobey here, I met him through work, and it's cool that now, because through cars, you know, I get to help share his business, CMP Wraps, follow him. It's just cool. It's sort of the gift that keeps giving, and even if, you know, you met someone.
Who are you talking about? Kobe giving to you all the time?
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, I just saw that. Oh, damn.
But no, I think it's cool. Like, it's just, you can go do cool stuff. Anywhere you go, you can get like just that cool. It's just satisfying, you know. Go driving and you see kids recording the car. It's so
that's
cool.
mad.
It's not an ego thing. It's just like that's so cool. Like, to see the love that is in it. Yeah, I just think it's awesome.
Well, I get enjoyment out of this, and then kids are a big one. Like the amount of kids that yell out stuff is just like, oh well, they're having fun, they're enjoying the car, even though they're not near it. They see it and they go, oh my god,
that's cool, because that was you know, like.
Yeah, well, literally when I was 12, this is when this car come out. Yeah. And I loved them from then.
I remember like being at school, like, you know, someone, especially being like, I went to school in Sunnybank, which if you know, there's a lot of
JDM
people and cars. And I remember literally just waiting for the bus and like just any like Skyline, whatever, and I just remember like, holy.
Yeah.
Someone would get picked up from school in something cool, it'd be like, that's crazy.
One day I want one of those.
You know, if you get to feel like the kids, when they do say rev it, like I always do, like, because I don't know, I just think it's so cool. Like, I had someone at the shops yesterday, there was a group of 7 of them. I was just going to buy dog food, and how much did it set you back? How much did it set you back? Which normally you don't really ask someone.
Yeah.
I told him, I was like, about 90. I'm going to start saving. Like, this is my dream. I was like, do it.
Yeah.
Like,
it's achievable.
I said I was the same. I was like, I didn't think it was possible. I somehow made it work, like through somewhat making some smart decisions, I guess, and it worked. So it's cool if you can be like a motivation, especially with, you know, a car like this or whatever. It is like, this is a dream for so many people.
Yeah, I get people that message me all the time saying, you literally own my dream car.
Yeah.
I'll never be able to afford one. And I always say, you can, you just need to make it happen. Like, man, I know. I've had to pull myself out of the negative headspace with this car multiple times. Yeah. Like, and I made it happen. If it takes time, it takes time.
Yeah.
Like, I had so many people for years telling me, drive it, because I was doing the videos. But I was having fun doing those videos.
Yeah.
And
it's
like, look, I'm driving it. I might die. And the reason I don't post as much those types of videos anymore is because now I'm enjoying it.
Yeah. Yeah, your priorities have shifted. Now you get to actually be out and enjoy it.
Yeah, that's right.
Rather than enjoying the process.
Yeah.
Well, I think this has gone quite well for a first little sit-down chat. We'll see what it ends up being. If you've stuck through till the end, then shout out to you, because I know it's a long video, but
I didn't even think it was that long.
We just got told how long it was, and it's a bit of a shock to us. So, just if this is on in the background, the video's about to end. Get your next video lined up. But yeah,
might need popcorn for this one.
Yeah, definitely. Well, it's too late for them to know that now.
Well, maybe you need to say that at the beginning. Get your popcorn out.
Yeah. This is a warning. This is a long video. Go get some snacks, because if not, you're about to be famished. But thank you for watching. Thank you for coming on. This is pretty cool for a first little sit down.
Yeah, it's been good.
I can see something that's just been done on my car, which you guys will have already seen. But wow, it looks cool.
Oh my god,
that looks really cool. So this is a live reaction. But if you haven't already, smash the like button, Follow CMP Wraps for lending us his shop to do this video and also wrapping my car. Mr. Scary Supra, and if you haven't already subscribed, do that now, and we'll see you in the next video. Peace.